Let's get down and dirty with a weathered model. It's from Diecast Masters and it's the Caterpillar 745. It comes in a big box which weighs in at £6 11 ounces, and that's just over 3 kilograms. To begin with, we have the outer shipping carton, so let's open that up. And then we can see what's inside. Just like a dump truck, we'll go for end tipping and out comes the box. And the outer sleeve tells you that this is one of Diecast Masters' weathered series. Removing the outer sleeve, we then get to the box itself, and we get to see our first view of the model. This is Diecast Masters model number 85704, and on the back of the box is the usual set of warning notices. The high quality box is of the hinged variety, and it includes a picture of the machine on the inside of the lid. As usual for Diecast Masters, there's a mini catalogue included, and this one is the 2022 version. After that, we have several pieces of foam packaging, and as you get them out, you can plan to reconstruct them as a scale model of the Empire State Building. The assembly of the model really means putting it in display mode, and that means putting the 745 on its base. But there's more, because you can also add a load of genuine imitation sand. Let's now check out the weight of the model parts, and the big heavy resin base is £2 6 ounces, and that's 1.1 kilograms. Let's now measure the weight of the model separately. And that comes in at about 560 grams, which in old money is £1 4 ounces. We start off with the base, and it is a heavy part made of resin, and it's got a nice underside complete with rubber feet. The texturing of the rough terrain surface is very good, and it also includes a nice rendition of tyre tread marks. Starting underneath the Cat 745, and the weathering effect has been applied here with nice scratch marks on various surfaces. Of course, this one must have been working in a dry sandy type material because there's no caked on mud. The chassis detailing on the model is good to look at, and the big tyres have a tread pattern and a kind of a wet look. At the front, the weathering effect looks good, and the review model even has a suitable beaten up appearance. It's nice that the Cat logo can still just be seen. The dirty looking tyres and wheels is also done very well, and it's all the more impressive considering this is a mass produced model. The body panels have got a nice mix of dirt and scratches, and even the metal handrails on the model have had some weathering applied. The mirror assemblies on this model are plastic, and you can also see that this version of the model has an operator installed. Another nice touch is where the windscreen is clean, where the windscreen wiper has been working. The weathering effect is also applied on the roof of the cab, and moving down to the steering pivot point there are grills formed of graphics, and the hoses crossing the pivot point look particularly realistic. There's a large rigid mud flap coming down from the dump body. Moving towards the back of the 745, and the two rear axles look particularly good with their weathering. And there's a nice application of the dirty look on the underside of the dump body. The tyres have been given a slightly wet look, and the detailing of the rear axle is very good with various lights. And you can also clearly see the construction of the suspension system. There's some nice wear on the end of the dump body, and the plastic load plate looks good too. The inside of the dump body has also had the weathering effect applied. It's very good that each of the wheels turns independently, and the steering across the pivot point also works well too. It has reasonable left and right movement and also a good degree of rotation. Also engineered well on the model is the rear axle suspension, and it has realistic oscillating linkages. Out on the Cranes Etc. test track, and the 745 rolls very well, and it also steers well without any skidding because of the independently turning wheels. While we're here, let's check out the suspension, and you can see that the springing works really well. Here you can see the rotation at the pivot point also performs a good job, and the oscillating suspension works well over rough terrain. Of course, an articulated dump truck carries loads and we need to get rid of those loads, and the tipping angle is very good. The hydraulic rams have a nice stiffness, so they will hold any angle that you set. Another feature of the model is that you can tilt the hood over the engine, and it will stay tilted. What you see underneath is a nicely detailed engine made up of many different components, and you can go further and tilt the cab, but the angle of tilt is severely restricted by the handrails on the opposite side. But you can just see a little detail underneath. But we're not yet done with the cab, because you can also remove the roof. On the previous version of this model, that was to allow you to insert an operator, but on this one he's fixed in place. Although that's reasonable because of the way the model poses on its base, a removable figure would have been better for display as a transport load. Another very good display option for this model is as a load on a heavy haulage vehicle. This latest member of Diecast Masters Weathered series is another great looking model, and it's certainly good for anybody who prefers models to look like they've been working rather than straight from the showroom. The model itself is a very nice combination of detailing and functionality. It's well presented, and overall the model is rated as excellent.